Hello, hello, hello. Hi, you guys. How are you? So we are waiting for Chris and John Tisha. They will be joining us shortly. Please don't forget to like and share this video. When you like and share our video, if you would please make it public so that it can reach more people. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Hi, Amy. Hi, Sherry. How are you? You're home? Good. I hope everything is well. Jonathan, how are you? How are you, Jonathan? Jonathan, you know what? If you're available, I'm going to send you the link. So give me a second because you guys know I'm bad at multitasking, chicken nugget brain, but we are going to get into it. Great show. We're going to talk about a little things today. So bear with me a second. Let me send Jonathan the link to see if he would like to join us. If you can. All right, Jonathan set. So hello, 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 everyone. Hi, Tanya. How are you, sweetheart? So we're going to talk about a few things, different things. We're going to talk about Rona, not saying the actual word because of the censoring issue. We're going to talk about Rona. We're going to talk about the little Delta variants. We are going to talk about mandated masking. We are going to talk about Cuomo. We are going to talk about a few other things that are on the forefront of what's happening in today's society. Hi, Danielle. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. So while I wait for Chris and John Tisha, I am going to share. We always talk about an officer that was killed in the line of duty to commemorate them. We're going to talk about Deputy Sheriff Brandon Shirley. His end of watch was August 5th. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I hope you guys can hear me fine. I'm on my headphones, so let me share this. Sorry. Share. Boom. All right. Oh, wait, no, I just hit the wrong thing. My bad. Bear with me. All right. This is Deputy Sheriff Brandon Shirley. There's his image. We're going to talk about what happened to him. So Brandon Shirley, Deputy Sheriff Brandon Shirley, was shot and killed when he was ambushed while working a secondary employment assignment at 2618 Rockford Lane in Shively, Kentucky. He was in uniform and sitting in a vehicle at about 2:30 a.m. when a subject approached him and opened fire. Deputy Shirley was transported to University Hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The subject who shot him fled the scene and remains at large. Deputy Shirley had served with the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office for 2 years. He is 26 years old. He's been on the job for 2 years. He was shot and killed. The offender is still at large. This is a true hero. This is the hero that we should see on billboards. This is the hero that every media source should be talking about because this hero made the ultimate sacrifice. His family made the ultimate sacrifice. He is 26 years young. And this is very sad. And this continues and continues and continues. And unfortunately, when a police officer is shot and killed, it's not talked about much. It's not on every media station all across America, and it should be. So media, get your shit together. That being said, I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm back. Okay, let me kick back to the comments. Sorry, you guys. All right. Hello. What's your opinion on employers mandating the vaccine? I think that anyone mandating the vaccine is ridiculous. That is just my personal opinion. I'm giving you my personal opinion. If you have a different opinion, I respect it. I just don't think that it should be mandated, right? When I started my employment 25 years ago, it was not mandated that I receive a vaccine. So therefore, I don't think it was not conditions of my employment. So to change that condition of employment 25 years later is a little bit ridiculous to me. So that's kind of where I feel. That's what I think about it. I think it's ridiculous. It is going to be pushed in a lot of places. I know that the mayor of Chicago is trying to push it, or at least that's what I heard. I heard rumor, I'm not sure. But if that happens, I will let you guys know and we will talk about it. But I think it's terrible that anywhere they're mandating it. I think it's ridiculous. Like, my body, my choice just went out the window. You know what I mean? Like, my body, my choice no longer exists. So that's kind of just my personal opinion. Like, again, I respect people. If they want to get the vaccine, get the vaccine. Feel free. Do whatever you feel is right for you. You are the master of your own body. I just don't feel that someone should mandate a vaccine, especially one that's not approved by the FDA. It is only emergency for emergency use. So yeah, that's kind of my opinion of it. I think it kind of sucks, to be honest, and I know a lot of people are pushing for it. Hello. Will Austin be here? I'm not sure. I sent him a message, but I'm not sure. So, hi Deborah. Hi Mrs. K. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Hi Lizzie. How are you? Hi Lori. Sure, I'm free. Give me a second and I'll hop on. Okay, so Jonathan is going to join us. Carol, hi Charlie, how are you? I am good, thank you. How are you? Danielle, how are you? Deborah, hey Nay, how are you, sweetheart? Hey girl, hey, I can hear you. Hey Tina, how are you? The doctor said I'm fine. I just had a panic attack. He said I was listening to Fauci too much. Okay. Okay. I know. Sorry, guys. Kristen, when I'm looking down and I'm trying to read like a private chat, I'm trying to see if, because Christian Tisha, I could see them down below on the screen. So just bear with us, okay? Just bear with us a second. Hi, Gail. Hi, Rose. Hi, Linda. Hi, Connie. Hi, Terry. Hi, Donald. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm trying to do something for Christian Tisha at the moment. Bear with me a second. Bear with me. You guys know I got a chicken brain, so, you know, it is what it is. All right, so they're trying to log in. They're going to try to do something so they can help with comments, etc. But again, we are going to get into it. So I want to know, in the meantime, while I wait for Chris and John Tisha, because I really want their opinion on what's going on with the mask mandates coming back. Like, I don't know if you guys have it in your state. They're having technical difficulties. They're on their way. Just to let you guys know, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're up against. We do it. All of us have our issues. We all have our issues at times. Sometimes it's my internet. It just, you know, sometimes it is what it is. What can you do? It is what it is. Not yet in Michigan, but I suspect it's coming soon. So our here in Illinois, Governor Pritzker, I was thinking about it because I was going to call him a very ugly name, but I'm going to try to get right with Jesus. I'm not going to call him a bad name, but you know what name I was going to call him, okay? Hey, Nikki, how are you? All right, that's fine. I'm reading comments and I'm talking out loud to Jatisha. So if you guys think I'm talking to myself, I'm not, I promise. I promise I'm not talking to myself. All right. I'm going to read a few more comments. Donna, of course I am. I don't give up. Thanks for asking, sweetheart. Terry, not yet in Wisconsin, but I think so. I think it's going to happen in all blue states. Like I was watching something the other day and they were like, everyone in blue states are going to just go with it. I saw Pritzker mandate masks for all schools pre-K through 12. Did. And for, they're doing it in like, he said a lot of things. I listened to his whole speech, but when I tell you the lies that were in that speech, it was unbelievable. All right, let's welcome Jonathan to the stream.
What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Chef? I'm good.
Good. How are you?
I can't complain. Can't complain.
Okay, Chris and John Tisha, you guys are ready? Okay, they're ready now. So let's have Chris and John Tisha to the screen. Hold on, let me fix this.
This is technical difficulties, you guys. We're here. We're here.
Thought we were going to have to squish together.
Next to me.
What's up, Jonathan?
What's going on, Chris? Hey, John Tisha.
Hey, you. Hey, boo.
Hi, everybody.
Goodness.
That's what you do? Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
hello. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to share.
And like.
Don't forget to like and share.
And make it public so it can reach more people.
See, that's why you're Charlie and I'm not.
So, if I already did the officer down thing, we'll do it again at the end of the video. This is the officer. He was killed. He was ambushed on August 5th in Kentucky. 2 years on the job, 20 years old. His offender is still at large. Or his murderer, shall I say. That being said, Chris and John Tisha, can you please pull up Cori Bush's video today? Since we're on the subject of police, let's start with her. So we're gonna get a little bit, I'm gonna show you a video and then we're gonna give our opinions on it, okay? You guys let us know in the comments what your opinions are on this. Jonathan, did you see Cori Bush's latest?
No, I haven't seen it, so it'll be a fresh reaction. So, I mean, I usually expect some stupid or fake woke to come out of mouth, but I don't know. We'll see what it is this time.
Laura said that bitch needs to go away. Wait, wrong one, sorry. All right, as soon as they pull it up, we'll get into it. Monique, hi Monique, sweetheart. Straight ignorance. You know what? To me, the things that you guys already know, hypocrisy bothers me on so many freaking levels. But you guys mute yourself while the video plays. Chris, play it whenever you're ready.
Get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I have had attempts on my life and I have too much work to do. There are too many people that need help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend 10 more dollars on it, you know what? I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets. Them get that off.
So that is the gist of basically what she said. So the GOP was on her because of her spending, her security spending, because she has been an advocate for defunding the police. I'm echoing. Let me see. Let me lower my volume. So, let me lower. Do you guys hear me echoing? Okay. So she has been an advocate for defunding the police. So the GOP called her on her BS and was like, wait, hold up. You spent this much on personal security, but yet are still in the same breath talking about defund the police. So this is what I don't understand. How people would vote for someone like Cori Bush, who is very blatant. This statement to me was very blatant, that her own personal security is more important than that of the people, because the police serve and protect the people. Now, I know tons of people out here on the streets that get threatened by gangbangers all day long. So are their lives not as important? Say bias because of my profession. I just call it being smart. What's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. Practice what you preach. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Jonathan, what are your thoughts after seeing that video?
I mean, for her, it's not surprising to hear what she said. It's just like you said, it's the hypocrisy for me. It's like how do you go in one breath talking about we need to defund police and cause a greater issue of safety for the public that you say you want to serve. You want to do everything for the best interests of the people that you serve, but you're going to defund something that is geared towards their safety as the public. It makes no sense. You can't expect to be given any type of credibility when you can make that type of statement. It's the reality of it is this. It's like am I saying oh no, all cops are perfect or anything like that? No, I'm not saying that. But we have to be realistic. Like communities need protection. Like people need to feel safe in the places they live. That's where you have police there that they're there to do their job to make people feel safe, even though their job is to pretty much at pretty much any point put their own selves in jeopardy, put themselves in a position where they may not come home, they may not see their family, their loved ones again, in order to protect somebody else that they don't even know. So for her to say that is, I can see that like I'm not even a police officer, but if I was, I can imagine how insulting that would be. Like it would be so infuriating to hear somebody say something like that, and in the same breath they have all the security over here for their own personal protection. It's like you invest this much into your personal protection, but you want to take away from those who need that protection just as much as you, who have to go out into this world on a daily basis without having, security at their hip at any given time. I can see how that can be very, very infuriating, and I mean, it's the hypocrisy for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think that it is absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to share something with you because you kind of just made a really good point. So she said that there's people out there who want to kill her or who have threatened her life. I'd like to see where there are valid statements to that. I'd like to see actual threats that she's received. I'd like to see that. I'm going to share the screen really quick. Can you guys see the screen? I can't. No. Okay, there we go. So that being said, we know that police officers are killed right? Especially over the last few years. So all of these officers have been killed in the line of duty. Now, what would happen if they demanded personal security? Because there are rightfully so people who are threatening the police each and every day. And not only threatening, they are killing them. So if each and every one of these officers that have gotten killed in the line of duty in 2021 tested security, where do you think that would take us? Does that make sense?
Did you ask a question?
Yeah, I said, I said, because Jonathan brought up the point that she says that she feels like there's people out there that want to hurt her, which is why she'll spend whatever she needs to spend basically on security. So that's why I showed the pictures of of a lot of the officers killed in 2021. Now we all know that there's threats against the police. There's dead police officers that have been shot and killed. So if each officer demanded protection, what do you think? How would that fly?
I mean, she's not the only one who's done it, though.
Correct.
She's not the only, politician or whatever in authority who has done the same thing, who has required themselves security so that they're safe, but then let their communities go to crap because they didn't think that their community should have the police funding that they supposed to have. So she's not the only one. I could only imagine that they're all in cahoots together trying to push towards one, nefarious scheme or what have you, because who does that? Even which you guys had reminded me. So Tucker Carlson on Fox Nation, right?
Yeah.
Fox Nation, he's got a new little docuseries on there, and I think two of the episodes actually kind of sort of have to do with each other, but one is like on MS-13 and the other one is on border security or what's happening down there. And one of the things I want to say was for MS-13, because they're originally from Guatemala, right?
No, they're originally from LA.
Oh, sorry, LA.
But
they're
Salvador, since El Salvador.
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, but the episode we seen was
He was at a Guatemalan prison.
Okay, thank you. I thought my facts were wrong. The Guatemalan president was like, no, that's crazy to take away your police efforts or to defund the police. He has upped his police presence in his country where he's at. Upped them. They've worked with United States military to train them up and to work better together. More police presence in all of the communities around there, so that the people around there feel safer and also have a little more courage to come up and say what they have to say about the gang problems that are going on around there. It doesn't always happen, but that, and then go hard on the criminal activity over there, especially the gangs, because again, the MS-13 is over there. And the rates from murder and crime has gone down significantly. In their jails, there's no phones, there's no TVs, there's nothing. They don't get anything in there. It's like just I don't know, in my opinion, what it's supposed to be for crazy people that commit crimes and have no, whatever their reason is to kill people or to join this or do that. Everyone has his different reasons, but that's like my point. If Guatemala can understand and see the difference to get away from more government control in that area, to let the community be overrun by criminals who don't care about them and destroy the community to where it's no longer safe for families to grow, what the heck are we doing? We're supposed to be the country that is in front of everybody. We're supposed to be the examples for everybody, for freedom and for safety and for future, and yet here we are. We have the Guatemalan president looking at us like, that's not such a good idea.
All right, so one, I think you brought up something interesting, right? I don't know when we became the example for the world, and I'm kind of tired of us having to always be the example. I mean, we have people that make mistakes just like any other nation. And I think sometimes we're put up on this pedestal like we're supposed to have everything right. And the reality is we're not always right. And I think you bring up a good point. This president made a very good call. We should be looking at other nations and saying, okay, how are they dealing with situations? Because obviously we're not doing it right anymore. But back to Cori Bush. So what she said, she as far as defunding the police, it's $70,000 that she spent on private security. So I just want to put that number out there. The average U.S. police officer is employed anywhere between 32K to 65K. That's average. Depending on where you're at, it could be higher, right? So I just want to go through some math. If she wants to defund the police, right? And let's just say that's taking 10 police officers off the force in whatever city she's in. And that could range anywhere from like $320,000 to $650,000. Okay. What I'm getting to is these people are so willing to play with our money and not really ask the people. I think a lot of politicians out there forgot that they're here to represent the people. People are stuck, like your average citizens will say, oh, this is America. It's a democracy. Yes, democracy is a part of it, but it's a republic. And that means that the people speak. And they forgot that we're here. And she's willing to take our money and let's say, get rid of those 10 officers and take 650. And that she wants to put into other social, social programs. A part of that, because we know she ain't paying for that private security. Who's me?
Shelly started talking.
We know she ain't paying for that private security. So where's that money coming from? Let her defund the police. She's going to take some of that money, which is why she has no problem spending $70,000 to $200,000 for her safety. But fuck the safety of everybody else. Her safety is important though, and that's the shit that gets me. And you got so many people out there, and I'm going to go specifically people of color, Latino, Hispanics, Blacks. We're being bamboozled. It's just right in front of us, and we don't even want to acknowledge it because we're so caught up in this Democrat Republican bullshit. And to me, it's like two gangs. I grew up around gangs, right? You got to pick one or the other, right? And when you pick one, you roll with it your whole life. That's what politics is doing to us. You got to pick red or blue. And I've seen people say, oh, I'll ride with the Democrats. I'll die with them. And because of that attitude, they're blinded by what's going on in front of them. And this lady's flat out telling you, hey, I'm going to take money from here and I'm going to put it over here. And people are like, okay. And then the rest of that money, where's it going to go? Social programs? I'm telling you right now, I highly doubt, and I know most people out there, would agree with this. Go put a counselor or some, psychologist or what do you call it, therapist, whatever it is, right? Psychologist. Put them out there in the street, one of these social workers, when something really is going down, like some gang stuff or a violent crime. They're not going to know how to react. That's the fact of it. And it's sad because people are nodding their heads like, oh yeah, Cori Bush, yeah, she sounds like, confident. So let's just roll with what she's saying. And nobody wants to stop. I won't say nobody, but a lot of Democrats don't want to stop and look that they're being fooled.
The end.
Yeah, definitely on point, Chris. Definitely on point, man. It's like you said, it's like everybody is like buying into like this big just con game. It's like they're literally telling you your safety is not important to us, even though we're supposed to serve you, we're supposed to protect you, we're supposed to do everything in the best interest of you. But we're going to take a major part of that keeping you safe, of making sure that your community is able to grow and invite businesses and more people to want to come and help that community grow. We're going to take away a key element in doing that, and we're going to do it with a smile on our face, and we're going to put it over here into like you said, like some social program where this therapist, this person, when they get real, and now they have to go out there and make a life or death decision, which means life or death could be life or death for them, somebody else. Now that they're put in this position, guarantee you that therapist, that whatever, they're going to be like, we really need some police. I can't handle this. It's like, I'm not trained for this. I'm not built for this type of thing. And that's I don't think that's the reality people are really grasping. That they're getting into like this emotional type thing where it's like yeah, we got to defund the police because that's the problem. It's gonna fix everything. If we take away some money over here, it's gonna make them do this, it's gonna correct matters. No. If you take away this funding that a lot of police departments are already strapped anyway, it's like, what do you think is going to happen? You're not going to be able to get the quality of training these officers need. You're not going to get quality people into these jobs because people are going to be like, why am I going to put my life on the line? And you're taking even more money away. You're taking even more of any incentive to take on this job. And I got to worry about, because I have this badge and people know that it's a target on my back. It's like you're going to get people who aren't interested in really serving the public. You're going to get more people who are just going to be like, okay, I got a badge, I got this. Now I can do what I kind of want. I can run this over here. I can do this. And who's going to suffer? The community is going to suffer behind it. The community that you want to help grow and all this type of stuff is going to suffer, and it's going to suffer to some point. It can be where it's almost irreparable. And if that's not something that you want, you have to take an honest look at this. It's like, okay, defunding the police. It sounds good. And that term, I always say that it sounds good to people who live away from those elements. It always sounds good for them. It's like, we're going to defund the police. Yeah, they can talk about you defunding the police, but in their community, their police are funded. They don't have to worry about that because they know the police are a phone call away. They're there in a minute. What happens over here? Like, what happens with citizens in this area or that area where they don't have security when they go out into the world every day? I mean, none of us have personal security when we go out into the world. We go into the local Walmart. We go into the airport. We going here or there. We don't have that. We don't know what the day will bring. But this person right here, they know it's pretty much a good chance. I got my security around me. If anything else, I can get away from this situation. The rest of us, we have to take what comes. And that shows just how disconnected a lot of these people are. And a lot of the people that even buy into it, just normal people just buying into it, shows how either disconnected they are or how emotionally driven they are. And in either case, it's all bad. It's not going to work out the way anybody thinks.
Hey, I just want to let you know, you're right. You're right with the personal security. Most of us don't. I'm my own personal security when I go out.
And he's my security.
And I'm her personal security when she goes out. And so the kids, I mean, that's kind of how it works, right? I mean, if you're the man, you're the husband with your
Right.
family, you get your personal security. And when I ain't getting paid no $70,000 a year, do it for free.
You know what? This is the thing, right? I agree with everything you guys. I'm echoing.
Oh.
I agree with everything you guys say, and to me, it's the whole hypocrisy in it all. I just showed several officers that have been killed in the line of duty, and they are threatened simply because they wear a uniform. So if they are required their own private security, because obviously just having a gun does not protect you from becoming dead when you are ambushed, then where would we get the money from that, right? And I don't want to hear the whole, oh, that's the risk you take. Look, if I'm dying, saving someone's life, yes, that's the risk I'm take. But if I'm sitting in a car and people just walk up to me when I have no interaction with them and ambush me, that's very different than what I signed on for. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Anyways,
that almost makes you not want to stay in one spot too long. I mean,
this is the
It's
thing.
a
I
very-
really wish. So you guys, I will show you guys after the live. And the only reason I'm not going to show live because it's on this WhatsApp app and someone had to record it and send it that way to me. So you guys know I all live in the hood, and it ties in perfectly to what conversation is about. So I was standing on my front porch. This was a few days ago. It was early afternoon. I'm standing on the porch talking to my cousin-in-law, and some guy who is a known gang member walks across the street and he's holding his waistband. Now my back is to him because I'm looking at her. She's facing him. He walks by. He's holding his waist. She's like, hey, why is that dude holding his waist? I turn around and I'm like, oh shit. Now I can't see great from where I'm at, the distance where he's at across the street. He's walking towards us. So I have like these huge pillars in the front of my house. So I kind of like put my body where a pillar's at. Now I usually carry my weapon of duty. I usually don't. My husband hates it, tells me to do it all the time. And I never listen because he's usually my security as well. But so as he walks, he says something. First, he says hello. I say hello. He continues to walk. And then he says something I don't hear. The person that I'm with is like, you know him? And I was like, what did he say? And she's like, oh, he said, do you remember me? And then I go, excuse me? And he's like, oh, you don't remember me? Now he goes on to say that I locked him up and that I did A, B, C, and D to him. So now me, because again, I am a hard head and I'm from the hood, right? Like I fear nothing. I literally fear nothing. So I tell him, you want to have an adult conversation, come where I can hear you, because I can't hear what he's saying. I'm partially deaf in one of my ears. So I couldn't hear him from him yelling across the street. So I'm like, walk towards me. Plus I could watch his hands, right? And I could have a better look of where he's at. I have multiple cameras in front of my house. They're going to catch anything that happens right there, right? So he walks. I tell the girl I'm standing with, record this. She records it. He starts saying, oh, I locked him up. I did this. So now as he comes closer, I see exactly who he is. So we get into this argument on my front porch, literally on my front porch. And what pissed me off the most is this is where my children live. I will show John, Tisha, and Chris the video because I'm going to have to I'm going to have to figure out how to forward it to you because it's on this WhatsApp app because it's too long to send any other way. It's like a couple of minutes, but we literally are in front of my house going back and forth. This is a known felon who knows where I live. Now, do I have the right to demand security? Because I'm being threatened for doing my job. Now, not to mention, I was not the one who arrested him. I transported a victim, and the victim ID'd him. That was my role in it. But again, it just kind of ties into it. And I was going to be petty and put it out there, but you guys know that I'm not computer savvy. So then I come down and I was like, okay, never mind, disregard. Don't give them the time of day. But that's where we're at. That app has it. So I'm just saying, this is broad daylight. This was literally a couple of days ago.
Hey, so because now that that's crazy, and I don't know, can you ask for security?
Hell no, we don't have the security for the public. We're so low on manpower.
I'm just hey.
I didn't even report it. Look, I didn't. No, you're right. I didn't even.
I mean, you're trying to do your own security.
Like, I didn't even report it. Like, I didn't even call 911 and I didn't even report it. Like, I will eventually, like, I go back to work, I don't know, next week or something like that. But I will definitely, like, talk to somebody like, hey, yo, like, this guy went to jail because he committed a crime, right? I only can lock them up. The judge determines if there's enough evidence to lock them up. There was 2 victims. And when I tell you that the audacity drives me nuts, because I have cameras, I've always had cameras in front of my house. I live in the hood. We have cameras. So my video cameras caught this guy. When my husband went back to do the videos, I don't know how to do that, but he sent it to the detectives. This guy literally robbed somebody, like there's a 606. It's like this big trail. People go back and forth. Him and a buddy robbed somebody. They literally rides his bike on the sidewalk. He's riding the bike that he just stole on the sidewalk right in front of my cameras in broad daylight. And then he's trying to he's upset because he was in jail. And he says he got out 6 months ago. I don't know. I'm going off topic. But my whole point was, that's ridiculous. Like, I'm like, my life, I feel threatened. And honestly, it's not even for myself, but what if my kids go in and out? Because I'm telling you, if something happens to my kids, I'm not going to remember I'm the police. I'm going to remember the way that I grew up, and it's going to be an eye for eye, period.
See,
But
I
I don't
think
play that when it comes to my children.
you bring up a good point right there. You're still a person, and at the end of the day, you got emotion, you feel, and that's one of the issues we see is that they've, and by they I mean the media and the Democrats, that part, they've taken police officers and they make sometimes to make you guys seem like you're nothing, and that's sad. Before we move on, I wanted two things. One, I think it's crazy how they want to defund the police but have private security. Like the police can actually do something lawfully and arrest people. How much authority does security have? And I guess that's a question for you, Shelly. How much authority does private security have?
Well, if it's armed security, so they're still super expensive. Like armed security is still super expensive. So they'd have to be concealed and carry. They'd still have to go through certain things as well. And a lot of times, this is the problem that I have with this whole armed security stuff, right? A lot of these politicians, you know who their armed security are? Police officers.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Like, I mean, let's just look at the mayor of Chicago. Look at their detail. It's all police. It's all Chicago police officers.
Yeah, good old Mayor Dirtyfoot.
Which, I mean, that kind of explains how they're not really abusing the taxpayers' money. They're just taking from the police force onto their private security. It was just something that crossed my mind. And then Jonathan had said something earlier about, we get to the point where I think you said it was, what was it? Pretty much like there's no going back. I can't remember the words you used. But like we'll get to a point where we don't defund the police and the crime in the area is so bad, like we're not going back. I think you said something like that, right?
Yes, it's like it gets to the point where it's irreparable. Like,
yeah, there you go.
You want to be able to bring police into that area now because it's like we're not going to fix this. It's like nobody wants any part of that.
And this is, I think,
no reason to do it.
Yeah, and I think what you're saying, and this is, we'll go back to Chicago where Charlie's at. It's almost to the point where, like, once you lose control, you have to bring in the military or the National Guard. You'll have to go that far. And I don't think what people understand is that go ahead and defund the police in a place like Chicago or Oakland or Detroit or one of those other, Baltimore or something like that, where it gets really bad. Go ahead and defund the police. Go ahead and take them down to where they're nothing and people don't want to work there and there is no police force. You're going to see an all-out war zone. And I don't think people understand that if it gets to that point, there's going to be more death because you're going to have to send people in. You're going to have to send either, a heavy police presence or even National Guard into those areas. And if you let it go that far, you're talking, in a sense, almost like civil war. We're going in to take back our what does belong to the U.S. because these gangs are going to take it over and people will die. I think a lot more people are going to die if they let it go that route. And I hate to say this, and it's sad, but I feel like there are, and I think we all know that there are people out there that want to see that destruction. They want to see the United States burned, especially certain big cities, because, and I know I'm speaking to people that most everybody, agrees with us, but the Democratic Party, for as much as they say they love their people, they're letting their cities go down. And I feel like they really, really want to see it. Like that, they get off on that.
Okay, so before we actually play this video.
Mute. You're muted.
I'm not muted.
Oh, is that us? Just kidding.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, so Jonathan can hear me. John, Tisha, Chris.
It was me. It was us.
Okay. So before we get into the next video that we're going to play, we're going to kind of get into the whole mask mandates are coming back. Our governor in Chicago, in Illinois, just mandated masks for like schools, K through 12. So there will be mask mandates again. They're saying that they're recommending. My thing is the whole inconsistency with the whole mess. And I'm talking about, let's go back, let's play it back from the beginning until now with COVID and the mask mandates. We're going to wait for Chris and John Tisha to come back. Let me see if I can add it to the stream. Okay. All right. So this little, this was like a TikTok video, but pay attention closely because I think everything on here is exactly how I feel. These are like the flashes that I get in my head when I think of Dr. F. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say his whole name because I don't want to get shadow banned and all that other wonderful shit that they do to us. So when you're ready, John T.
Make sure your volume is up because the video is a little small. Just kidding. I guess it's not.
Bear with us while we sort the technical difficulties.
It's not letting, I don't know why it's not letting me play it from here. And when I go to double click it, it wants me to log in and I don't have a thing.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can play it. Give me a second. All right, let's see if I can add it. Give me 1 second. Bear with me a second, you guys, because I gotta find it. Of course, my computer is taking a minute. Okay, so here. Okay, hold on. It is gonna make you log in. Hold on a second. All right, let me log in. Sorry, I'm gotta log in. All right. All right, I should be logged in now. Sorry. Cancel. Damn, a whole lot of shit pops up. Good grief. All right, here, let's add it to the stream. Let me share my screen. All right, so it's a Chrome tab. I need to share the audio. All right, if everyone else could mute their mics. Let's see if I can see it. All right.
people think that it is.
There has not been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects.
There are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
You do not need to wear a mask indoors if, in fact, you've been vaccinated. Good that you're vaccinated, but in a situation where you have people indoors, particularly crowded, you should wear a mask.
So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. If in fact you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you are protected, and you do not need to wear a mask outdoors or indoors. People should not be walking around with masks. Let me just state for the record that masks are not theater. Wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and masks are protective, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is.
There has not been any indication that putting a mask on and wearing a mask for a considerable period of time has any deleterious effects.
There are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
And can you get some schmutz sort of staying inside there?
Of course.
You do not need to wear a mask indoors if, in fact, you've been vaccinated. Good that you're vaccinated, but in a situation where you have people indoors, particularly crowded, you should wear a mask.
So even if you are vaccinated, you should wear a mask. If in fact you are vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you are protected, and you do not need to wear a mask. People should not be.
So it's the inconsistency for me. It is the back and forth. I think that we all know that Dr. Fauci has been a fish out of water since day one. Like, I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts? Big echo. Did it echo all the whole time?
No, not for me. But just listening to him, I'm with you on that one, Shirley. It's just the inconsistency. It's the flip flopping for me. It's like every time he gets on any media outlet, it's like one day it's, oh yeah, the masks are fully protective and it's going to do this, and you get vaccinated and you do this, and then the next minute, well, it's not really going to protect anything, but just do it anyway. Just trust us. Just trust the science. And it's like, I mean, now granted, me myself, like from the beginning, I'm like, wearing these masks. I'm like, what's the point of wearing a mask? It's like, but I get it. Some people have this thing that they it's a safety blanket or a crutch that they want to have, but it's like when you see stuff like this and you see this much inconsistency, it's like you can't just continue to ignore that. Like you see that level of inconsistency in a person, like, and people calling him out on it from every angle. It's like, okay, you said this in March, now you're saying this in June, now you're saying this in late October, now you're saying this is the next year, February, now you're saying this. It's like which one is it? You got to pick a side. You got to pick a side and stay there. It's like you can't just keep going on and on with this and just, like double talking, and you over here saying it to this media outlet that it's one way, and you're saying over here that it's this, and you want people to buy into it. Like you really want people to buy into something when by your own words you've proven that you are not trustworthy, that you are not a person that can be taken seriously, that your credibility is greatly in question. It's like people are going to be like, no, I'm not going to wear these masks. I'm not going to take any vaccine and all that kind of stuff. It's like, I mean, granted, some do, some just want to believe and want to buy into it, but overwhelmingly, it's like people are not going to buy into that type of thing, and rightfully so, they shouldn't. Like you should not just buy into something. You see that kind of inconsistency, and you see all these other elements coming into play, where it's looking like, no, this is probably not the route I want to go. You have to trust your gut on that one. Like you have to really trust yourself and stand on that principle. It's like okay, this doesn't seem right. This isn't adding up. It's like from the beginning, like, okay, these numbers aren't adding up. This isn't adding up. I don't want to do this. I'm not going to do this. But I feel like a lot of people, they got caught up in not wanting to be shamed about it, not wanting to feel excluded from anything. It's like people hate to deal with that, and when you have to go out and actually die on that hill, it's like a lot of people aren't prepared to really do that. When you really have to stand on what you believe in things like that, it's like no, I don't want to. Well, I'll just do this, and okay, I'll get the vaccine, or I'll do this, that, and the other, and like people, for a lot of people, for the most part, they get into that fear mode. They don't want to feel like they're not a part of the group. But I mean, stuff like this, when you see it, it don't matter how much you want to be a part of that group. If that whole group is going over a cliff, I'm not going with you. Like I'm sorry. Like I understand like that. People have their mixed feelings about it. They feel like, well, if you got health issues, hey, that's your right, and that's the whole point. It's like it's your right to do what you want with your health. You have the right to make those decisions about your health and how to handle it for yourself, for your children, or whoever. If you're taking care of somebody, you have the right to make those decisions. But when it comes to the CDC says this, and this is what we're going to do, and they're pretty much saying we're going to legislate it where we can just take away your rights when we feel like it. When it's convenient for us, we can selectively like impose on your rights, infringe on your rights, and you can't say anything about it. And if you do, we're going to shame you. We're going to say this, and like we're going to pump it into the media so much that even people that you care about, your own family and friends, whoever, may turn against you just because you feel differently and you're looking at it from an objective viewpoint. It's don't even let me get started. Let me let y'all. I'm over here ranting. Y'all go ahead.
I absolutely agree with you. So for me, it's the flip flopping. I don't trust Fauci, and I've not trust Fauci since before the whole COVID, and he resurfaced it out of his little damn dungeon. He reminds me of one of those, like, in the movies, in those old school movies where they're hiding in their dungeon and they're doing like evil shit, and then they come out for air when somebody needs them. That's what his ass reminds me of, to be honest. So he lost me with the whole AZT and the whole AIDS thing, that all these people were taking all this AZT, and it killed, I don't even know how many people, but it killed tons and tons of people. His ass should be in jail. Someone put in the comments earlier, he should be in jail for crimes against humanity. I absolutely agree with that. Next, I want to talk about. Well, go ahead. Sorry.
Can I weigh in on that real quick?
Yeah. No, it's the same subject, but go ahead.
Okay, cool. I agree with the two of you on that, and I just want to add on top of the fact, with all this flip-flopping and getting states to go along with it, and then that trickles down into counties and areas and things like schools. And we already know that a lot of the school systems are whack if they don't have a strong leader pushing the way to have courage to pave the way for them to go against what everybody else is doing. You have schools out here that are making requiring masks in the classroom, but not outside. Not when they go to lunch. Not when they go play on break or recess with each other. So they're going to be running around, breaking a sweat, especially where we're at with the heat. It's summer. You know what I mean? Like, they're going to be sweating. Kids, they're wild and crazy. And they touch each other, and they share equipment, and they run around, and they're close knit. They hug each other. They haven't seen each other in some of them almost a whole year, if not a few weeks to months. On top of the fact that you're going into stores now without masks, you're going into restaurants without masks, you're sitting down, these people aren't wiping anything down. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, changing their gloves. They're, all of these different things. And yet, you're still requiring children who show the least amount of issues with what's going on. They're super resilient. There's no real proof of or evidence of them transmitting it a highly transmittable between adults and children, and yet they're being forced. And you see these kids walking up to these to school still wearing their mask in the car, going up to walk, and they don't even require it outside. But it's because they've been conditioned this whole last 12 months to wear the mask, or you're going to get in trouble. My son is in 3rd grade. He's 8. He'll be 9 this year. He was told multiple times in classroom to put his mask up. And then he got a last warning on the first day of school. So yeah, I agree with you guys. It doesn't even make any sense. How are we going to be allowed to walk all around with no mask? Like, it's okay, like it's come down, but you're going to require them in class, even though when they're outside they don't have to wear one. We're not wearing one in stores. We're not wearing one in here. I'm just saying that made me mad.
No, I agree. So now what they're talking about, the reason the mask mandates are coming back is because they're talking about the what is it, the Delta variant, right?
The Delta, blah.
The Delta variant. Now, this is what I want to say about it. Right?
Hold on, one sec, Shelly. One sec, real quick. And I'm also not saying. Let me just finish this. I'm sorry. Let me just finish. I'm also not saying that I don't have feelings or considerations for people who are immune compromised, and they're what I'm talking about is like the choice to wear a mask instead of being forced to wear a mask. You want to wear a mask, wear the mask. I 100% support you, especially if your family, you guys cannot afford to get sick, your parents, whoever, like 100% do that. I was just talking about what, the whole flip-flopping, and it doesn't make sense. And then I added in, we should have the choice to and not be forced to. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, so we're talking about the Delta variant, and that's what's bringing pushback and for masks because of the Delta variant. If you look at the science, right? If you look at the numbers, go to the VAERS system. I don't know if it's called VAERS or VARS, the VAERS system. It's by the government. Go on there. I mean, I don't think the numbers are exactly accurate anyway, but it does give you a good idea. It does show like deaths from the vaccine. It does show complications of the vaccine. It shows a lot of things. That's probably the most where you can look at it and get some kind of feedback, right? There's something more to it, something going on, right? But so this is the push, right? We're talking about this Delta variant. This is what's coming back. Now, I left Chris's comment up there because she says, my boyfriend told me that I'm allowing the disease to keep mutating and invalidating his vaccine. Chris, with all due respect, tell your boyfriend that he should educate himself because viruses mutate. That is what they do. The flu has mutated. I couldn't tell you how many different times. Viruses in general mutate. That's what they do. If you look back to last year, when Donald Trump was president, he talked about herd immunity. He talked about it mutating. Tell your boyfriend that if the vaccine works, then why is he worried? Think about it. Think about it. If the vaccine works, why are you worried? Remember, it was get vaccinated, get vaccinated, get vaccinated so we could get back to normal. Now, what are they talking about? What did the CDC say about Delta variant? People that are vaccinated, they're calling them super spreaders. Make that make sense.
And also keep in mind the fact that they want everybody to take this jab, and nobody asked the question. They want us to take a jab that no company is going to be held responsible for. Nobody holds any responsibility for it. If you take it and you drop dead, or you get cancer later on, or you decide to have a child and your child has 7 toes on one foot, or you can't have children. Nobody gets held responsible, but they want you to say, just trust it, take but you don't want any responsibility for anything that happens with it. You don't want to be held legally responsible for something that you created and had mass distributed to the public. You don't want any responsibility for it, but you want us to trust that everything is good and it's going to work out. that it's going to be just perfectly fine. It's like you have to really try to make that part make sense for me. That you want this, you want people to accept this, that just get this. Be that. It's, you can't convince me of that when you won't own up to your part in it. When you won't own up to something like that and say we're going to be responsible for it if something happens. Hey, I can't ride with you on that one.
No, I agree. And Chris Dunn-Tisha, what are your thoughts on that?
Real quick, Ro Black said COVID ain't shit on a mask and a gun in Chicago. Go ahead and throw that up. Guns are killing way more people than COVID in my community. And this is the shit that I've been talking about for a while. What I don't understand, and you can look right here in California, you go to any major Democratic city, and people die all the fucking time. And they don't care about those people. They don't care about the black and brown and Asian people in those communities, the white people in those communities that suffer from gang violence and drugs. That right there is an epidemic or a pandemic or whatever you want to call it. We lose so many people because of that. And they don't want to shut it down. They don't want to get a hold of the jail system, the prison system, and shut down the communication from these higher ups in the gangs that are making calls. They don't want to try to, crack down on some of the drug issues that we're having, the gang issues that we're having, and people are dying. And Chicago is, we see it all the time on the news, and that is not an issue. And to me, that is crazy when you got organizations like Black Lives Matter, like out there doing all this political bullshit, but they can't even go to the hood and take care of the shit that's going on in the hood. And that's what's going on, like in California. I hear brown people, I hear Latino Hispanics talking about it, and they're talking about how we're the most affected by COVID. But yet I've known more people that have died from gang violence than I've known that died from COVID. I know more people that get hurt from drugs and all this other bullshit going on in the streets than they are getting hurt from COVID. Now, I'm not going to say I don't know, I haven't known anybody that has lost their life to COVID. I just know way more people on the other end. And that has never triggered the Democratic Party or anybody on the left to step up and want to take care of that problem. But we're worried about COVID. I want to go back to what Fauci real quick. I like how he reminds me of like Shakespeare, to mask or not to mask. That is the question. And I think it all depends on who's paying him that week. That's why his decisions or what comes out of his mouth is flip-flopping all the time, because somebody's paying him to say something and he's going to say it. And that's why he doesn't want to let the limelight go. That he's got so much attention from this and people are praising him. And why let that go? Because as soon as this is done, he goes back to being a nobody. Nobody even knew who he really was until this COVID stuff. Let me see. There was a couple other things, but I'll end with this and then I'll pass back over to you guys. So I know we were talking about the mutated viruses. Charlie brought it up. You made the comment to Chris Lancaster. And what I think is crazy, and I'm skeptical of the COVID, of the vaccine, right? The flu mutates. The common cold mutates, right? We have been studying the flu for years. And I know, especially in the military, like you could get the flu shot like twice a year because it's constantly mutating. And so I feel like when I was in, every 2 months or every 6 months, I'm getting a new flu shot. And it's not something that is, you're not asked to do it. They put you in a line and you get it. What I think is crazy, and this is my red flag, when the military still made it voluntary and they're having a hard time pushing it because it's not FDA approved, that makes me have to get, question, is this vaccine legitimate? I mean, what are the downsides? So who's responsible if I get hurt? But I want to put something out there before I pass back over to you guys. The common cold. The common cold has been around for fucking ever. Do we have a vaccine on the common cold? And that hurts people. That kills people, especially older in age. I mean, just like the flu. And we have not found a vaccine for the common cold. But yet COVID, less than a year, we got a vaccine, and they don't want us to question this or to have some type of skepticism behind it. People are skeptical because it's just not normal. Watching something being produced that fast is not normal, and I think we have every right to be skeptical of it
and ask questions.
I agree. Just so that since we're talking still about COVID and we're talking about masking, this is Miguel Escobar. He is a physician's assistant and spoke at a school board meeting on the 27th of July. I want you to hear this because it was actually really good. Listen to some of the things he's saying. John Tisha, you guys let me know if you can hear it, okay? Because I'm not on the screen.
Okay. It's really low.
That's as loud as it goes.
Do you want me to pull it up on my side?
15 years.
Yeah, see if you can pull it up.
All right.
All right. Well, she's pulling it up. These are just some other thoughts that I had about COVID, right? One, what I don't understand is if the majority of us are healthy, right, when it comes to school and our kids, I find it crazy how we're so quick to accommodate to the very few instead of the bigger population. So if there's only like 1 or 2% of your community that might have an underlying health condition or immunity or like are immunocompromised, and I get it, and I got friends that are like that, but we are willing to sacrifice 99% of our kids for 1% of somebody else's kid. Those kids should be the ones that are really taking caution, wearing their mask, or not going to school if that's what their parents so choose. It shouldn't affect the larger majority. That's just my opinion on it. And I think it's crazy how they're willing to throw a majority of the kids into that one big pool because of such a small amount of people. We got a friend. I know he's constantly fighting, and I know he needs a transplant and stuff for his kidney. Really, really good dude. When it comes to him, like, hey, his kids can't, they got to be extra cautious, and I get it. If it were like my brother, his daughter, lupus, and Charlie, I know you know how that goes, and it can have its really, really bad days, and some days aren't so bad. My brother, he takes it. He doesn't want other kids to get affected. So when my niece is not feeling good, she's not going to school. She's going to take her precautions. He doesn't want other kids affected, to suffer. So he's really on her about, hey, put your mask on, wash your hands, do this, depending on the situation, because she can't afford to get sick. I mean, that's even without COVID. Those are the different mindsets. And I think more people need to be, not just because he's my brother, but more people need to be like my brother and be like, hey, my kid's the 1%. My kids shouldn't affect 99% of the other kids. Respect them, and then teach your kid how to do the right thing and protect themselves. That's just a thought that I had.
I agree. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can pull this up just from Facebook.
Shelly, I have it up.
Oh, you do?
I was just waiting for him to stop talking.
Oh, okay. So since we're on COVID, this is what we're gonna, I'm gonna mute so that we can listen to this really quick.
Hello, board members. My name is Miguel Escobar, and first I'd like to thank everybody who partakes in the district in giving your time for our children. I am a physician assistant, and I've worked in healthcare for over 15 years. I have been working in the Valley in cardiology at the hospitals for about 3 years. And right now I work in internal medicine, and I also work with the Border Patrol screening the immigrants that come in. So I've had firsthand experience with COVID, especially before anybody in the media knew about it, because I have certain government clearance. So I'm here to talk about a lot of the misinformation that's out there. First of all, most people don't know in the general population the actual facts of what's going on with COVID, okay? Number one, because they don't know where to look for it because it's very complicated, even for a medical professional. Number two, you may not have the time, like most people here, to actually dig in deep and see the facts that are out there. Number three, and the most important, is that the government and many entities are actually censoring true factual information that I'm about to present to you. You can't find it. It's not out there. I understand that you might have some doctors on your board or doctors that come and help you out, but I can tell you one thing. If they're telling you something different than I'm about to tell you, they're either one, misinformed, and they're not looking in the right places. Two, they're straight up lying to you. And that would lead me to believe that who is paying you or who is influencing you to say these things. Number one, the case counts is absolutely obliterated. You could be run over by a car and you go into the ER, you say I'm short of breath because your blood is filling your lungs. And if they test you for COVID, you died of COVID, not a car accident. You could have known severe cardiovascular disease, which is what I partake in, and you come in with an absolute 100% heart attack, but they test you for COVID. What did you die of? COVID. What just happened about 2 weeks ago? CDC is now telling all the laboratories to stop using the PCRs that we've been using this whole time because they cannot decipher between the flu and COVID. So we have to stop using them. That information alone should stop this whole ridiculousness, okay? Number two, the masks. What is the dirtiest spot on your body? It is your mouth. I'm pretty sure no one here would sit there and smell their anus and their private parts all day because that seems disgusting. But your mouth is dirtier than your private parts. Why would you sniff the bacteria that comes out of your mouth all day long and force that on our children? That is wrong. That is psychologically affects them, and you're going to implore more infections on them. There are literally studies that I can prove to you that are on the CDC website that are randomized controlled studies that show that nor hand washing nor wearing surgical masks, especially anything less than that, actually prevents you from getting infected, whether if you're infected or you're trying to prevent an infection. I can sit here alone on that topic for at least 3 hours and talk to you about how that is so ridiculous. Let's get to the most important part because I'm very limited on time and I could sit here for hours and talk to you about this. The unvaccinated theory is nothing but BS, okay? Does anyone here know, especially the medical professionals here, that the CDC about a month and a half ago changed the requirement for hospitals and clinics to count a COVID case? If you are now vaccinated, you don't have to register that person as a COVID case if they have COVID. Even if they're in the hospital and dying of COVID, if they were vaccinated, you don't have to count that as a COVID case. Why are people saying, oh, the unvaccinated are filling the hospitals? Because the CDC has literally changed that. So if you get COVID and you're vaccinated, you don't count into the pool of people that are vaccinated. Does anybody here know that? I doubt it. Do we also know of the change in the PCR test? No, I doubt that. So you're a board for education, not health. There's never been a study on social distancing or any of these ridiculous partitioners that are in between you. So you're telling me that you're safe to breathe, but we're not safe to breathe? Even on the CDC, after 15 minutes of being in the same room with somebody, you're breathing in the same air, okay? So let's get past this ridiculousness because it doesn't work. And then the vaccines, just a whole other nutshell case in itself. In 6 months, more people have died from this vaccine than in 20 years of every single vaccine given in America. Let that sink in. In 6 months, 12,000. And the VAERS reporting system, Harvard, who everyone should trust here, did a major study, and they found out that only 1% of all the adverse effects and deaths are actually reported. So
all right, we're going to stop it there because it's 13 minutes long, but you get the gist of what's happening, right? We talked about this since last year, right? We've all talked about this. I'll share this video on my Facebook page so that you guys can go and watch the full thing. Oh, thank you, John Tisha. She just shared it on the YouTube page. She is, I love her. And wait, can we? I wanted to say this earlier, and then chicken nugget brain. We got caught up talking about a bunch of stuff. But does John Tisha look cute today or what? She looks super cute.
Thank you.
I wanted to say it earlier, but yeah. So John Tisha just shared it on the YouTube page. I will put it on my Facebook page so that if you guys want to watch it.
I'm putting up right now.
Okay, John Tisha's posting it now. So if you guys want to watch the full 13 minutes, you can watch the first 13 minutes. So to me, I'm not getting the vaccine. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fight and I'm going to push back as long as I can. That's where I'm at with it. What do you guys think about Cuomo? We can't end this video without talking about Cuomo. Oh wait, remind me that I want to do the Converse ad. We'll end with the Converse ad. But let's talk about Cuomo real quick. We won't spend too much time on him because I think everybody knows he's pretty much idiot. What are your thoughts on Cuomo?
Cuomo, both of them are idiots. I can't stand Chris Cuomo. I can't stand that Donald Lennon, but they're just not. You can tell they're not the brightest guys, and I think that's a big misperception when you see people like on the news or you see politicians. Like people just assume that these people are smart. I won't say everybody, but there's a majority of the population that sees these people and thinks that they only got there because they have to be smart. And I think we have to remind ourselves when it comes to politics, like Governor Cuomo, very few of them got there because they're smart and because they're out there with the people. And more often than not, when it comes to politics, like Governor Cuomo, more often than not, they got there because special interest, somebody's looking out for them, their family, whatever it may be. I'm not a big fan of him. Or what's it, De Blasio. I mean, those two, they're goofballs, they're goons. And especially with the whole set scandal, I think it's crazy how the left, the media, and the Democrats, how they've attacked so many people when it has come to set scandals or trafficking or whatever it may be. Bill Cosby, I mean, they've taken people down. They've destroyed lives. And maybe some of them deserved it. Maybe some of them not. But I just think it's crazy when it comes back to one of their own, a politician, they've just turned a blind eye to it. And I hate to be like this. I don't, you might get a little spark of interest and somebody might try to take it to them. I just don't see them taking Cuomo down. Even though Biden I think asked him to resign or said he should have resigned, I think he's just going to laugh at that because he knows, like the rest of us, that our president is he's just saying it just because he was asked, and he thinks that's what the people want to hear that are asking the question. He ain't going to force it, and Cuomo's just going to he's going to let time go by, and he's going to hope people forget.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is my thing. Why isn't he not indicted already? Wasn't it like 12 counts they found him guilty? The state's attorney found him guilty of. So why is he not indicted? If you're
11, either way,
I thought it was 12 or 11. It's over 10. One is too many, to be honest.
right? Yeah.
But this is my thought. Now, do you remember when Democrats, and right now I'm going to make this into Democrat Republican little point of talk. Not that I'm either, because I'm neither. I'm going to vote based on policy. But that being said, do you remember when the Democrats kept pushing and pushing and pushing the fact that Donald Trump said about another woman in 2005, before he even was a politician or ran for president? They were so offended because he was got in with a friend and said to grab a woman by her vajayjay. He's a pervert. He's a pig. I've heard it from my Democrat family members and friends. Why are you same hypocrites not upset about what Cuomo is doing or what he's been doing? And then I didn't watch his speech, but I heard him say, well, he said, oh, it's because I'm Italian. We're touchy-feely. I'll break your
Oh, yeah, I
motherfucking
heard that.
hand. If you want to use that Italian, I'll chop that bitch off. Like, isn't that what like mobsters did? Like, chop that shit off. Swim with the fishes, whatever.
That's what they do in the East too.
Right? So I'm like, wait a second. We need to, like, this is my thing. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. You were upset that Trump said grab somebody by the vajayjay, but you're not upset that this guy has been playing grab ass with everybody. And I'm going to tell you something else. I think this whole, someone just mentioned that it's a distraction to take off the focus of the audits. Tanya, yes, I agree with you. Not only that, but I think this whole Delta variant, I'm going to say it. You heard it right here. It's my opinion, that they are trying to take the focus off of the 2022 elections. Boom, you heard it here. That's my thought process. Because if I'm not mistaken, in California, they already are talking about mail-in ballots. I sent a picture on the JustUs. That is a fact.
They sent us a postcard already.
So pay attention to what's happening because y'all are being played. I've been trying to tell you that for such a long time. Again, this is not about Democrat or Republican. This is about what's right and what is wrong. We need to hold people to a higher standard. And if they're going to be held to that standard, they all need to be held to that standard. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you 100%. And that's one thing I've been trying to push more is when it comes to voting, it does not necessarily have to go Republican because not all Republicans are good. It's vote based off of, your. Somebody might, I don't know if this is going to rub anybody the wrong way, but if you got religious, upbringing, a spiritual upbringing, whatever morals or standards that you have for your life, that should be how you're voting. It shouldn't be a red or a blue. It should be, do these people line up with what I believe? And then you hold everybody to the same standard, whether it's Republican or Democrat. Because in California, the reality is majority of our Democrat politicians, they're not here for us. They're here for themselves. And most of our Republicans, I don't know where they're at. We don't have a lot. And what I have seen is not really impressive. They're just not out there pushing, trying to fight for anything else. And then depending on where you go, in California, I'm not a big fan of Republicans because some of these areas, they're majority of the farm owners and they employ, you want to call them illegal immigrants, and it's not because they're illegal immigrants, it's because we've fought for a lot of things in California, and one of them was to get farm workers better pay, better working conditions, and we just reversed that. And a lot of these Republican landowners and politicians out here, they're okay with that. So I mean, I'm with you. It's you really got to look at the person. Hey, one thing you brought up, and this is to the hypocrisy, right? They were mad at Trump because he said, I'll say grab him by the whap, right? Okay.
Gosh, I hope it wasn't that.
Hey, yeah. He's wrong for saying that, right? But somebody like Cori B is celebrated for talking about her whap. Right? And that's perfectly okay. And she can talk about it, but I'll be damned if a guy, even looks at her.
Well, that's her First Amendment right.
Yeah. It's crazy how
she also talked about drugging men and robbing them. But she was granted an interview by President Biden.
Yeah.
Which is horrible.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't, and that's a double standard. They attack Trump for that, and the reality is like he's not a politician, and he said it. Whatever he said it. People say a lot of stuff, and
Well,
for any man that wants to sit out there and be like, "Oh, I've never talked like that," maybe there might be some, but locker room talk's locker room talk, and it happens.
thank you.
And
I agree.
I just think it's crazy. Like you have Cardi B talking about WAP 100% fine. You have Little Nas X, like this latest music video, and I go and I watch them because I like to know what I'm talking about. I dislike the video. What I think is crazy is because he could flaunt around. He's really pushing, this gay agenda. But there's nothing wrong with being gay. But I don't even like to see the over sexualization between men and women on TV, especially with my kids. If it's something that they can just pop in and see, like they don't need to be watching that. Much less do I want them watching that, because I'm like, come on, like these dudes are in there naked, and all you got them kind of just leaked out in the private part. Like that's crazy. Like they've let it go that far, even just a little bit further because he's gay. They wouldn't do that if a girl was, walking around half naked in a rap dude's music video.
Well, he's celebrated now.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
since he came out and embraced it.
Yeah, but you
this 12 months? 18 months?
If you're straight,
or more,
they allow a little bit. But if you're gay, you could go the extra thing, the extra little inch and take it that little bit further. And I think it's crazy how what I'm getting to is the rules. How?
Sorry. I'm sorry.
How some rules apply to some people and they don't apply to others. That's really all I was trying to get to.
No, and I agree with you 100%. And you mentioned something earlier on. You said you thought that Trump was wrong for saying that. And I was like, I really don't think he was wrong for saying that. I think he's in there with his boy. They're talking trash. Men are going to be men, and not all men. I know some of you guys got saints out there. I get it. But I'm just saying, it's going to happen. And you did say it later on. Like, yeah, guys are just having locker room talk.
What I meant is that the other, some people say he's wrong for saying it. I personally don't care what he says. I don't think it's wrong or right. I mean, they were having a conversation. Now, if he was going out there, private conversation, and then if he was just walking around doing it, that's wrong. But him telling some dude like, "Hey, that's what they like," and it's situational based. Like if they're at like a concert or something, this dude was a rock star, and his buddy's a rock star, going, "Hey man, just grab them." They're fine with it. They're cool. They love it, man. Is it wrong? I guess it depends on the situation. Because I mean, if they're a groupie and maybe they like that shit, I don't know. Maybe they went there just to see if he would do it.
I was about to say this right here.
I mean, some people want that attention. Some people don't. So I think it's all situational based. And I think when it comes to politics and what we see on the media, it depends on who you are, if you're going to get attacked or not.
I agree. Speaking of vulgarities, can you guys do me a favor? Can you pull up the Converse picture, the Converse photo?
Yeah.
So kind of this is where we're at in life, right? I saw this photo the other day, and I thought, what in the is this? Now, I used to rock Converse back in the day when I was in high school. My first pair were beige. They were not white, they were beige. And I had pink fat ass laces because they were cute. It was a moment, okay? I do like Converse now. I have a pair in my closet. Actually, I probably have 2 pair. I do like them. My kids like them. I saw this on Instagram the other day, and I was bothered. Now, I believe that everybody has the right to do what they want, do whatever you want to do. I am no longer going to support them because I feel that it goes against my faith. Does that make sense? So it goes against what I believe. I feel it's something demonic, and that's just my opinion. Again, it's my opinion. We all have one. It is what it is. I'm no longer going to support the brand. Okay, I'm no longer going to support the brand. And as soon as they're able to pull out the picture, I will show you why. Connie said no Nikes. I'm not throwing out my Converse. I just won't buy anymore. Correct. I'm not throwing mine out. Well, actually, they're kind of too big on me anyway, so I'm probably just going to gift them. I can't hear you guys.
Oh, well, she's looking for it. Hey, Nate, I'm with you. I have a couple pairs of Converse, but I'm not going to toss mine out just because I've had them for so long, and they're like a cartoon special edition looking one. But I'm with you. I'm just not going to buy anymore. And as for Nikes, like I used to get Air Force Ones all the time. It was just like Reebok Classics. I used to be big on shoes. I kind of just gave it up because I'm not, as I've gotten older, like brands and shit like that, I'm not trying to impress anybody anymore. Just that's it. I mean, and I don't need to wear Nikes to.
Wait, me what? You're
to impress you.
Okay,
Sometimes.
you are trying to impress me.
Sometimes.
You are trying to.
Sometimes.
Okay, well, just making sure because you can't like just all of a sudden just
but
stop trying to impress me.
My point is that I don't need Nikes or anything like that. But I'm done with Nikes too. After like I was listening today to the news and how much of a hold China has on Nike, and you can see that reflecting in like sports with LeBron James or Kaepernick and some of the things that they're saying, and they're endorsed by Nike. Nike is got a lot to do with China, and I'm just not a big fan of China. And I'm tired of us not having more American-made products. So, I mean, Converse, Nike.
I'm not throwing my Nikes out there. I will say that. I have a lot of Nikes. I'm not throwing them out.
No, I think that's crazy. Like when people go like burn their jerseys or throw their shoes away. No, you don't got to go that far. Just don't keep supporting them. Keep what you have, and just don't go back to them.
All right,
so
ready?
You're not supporting Nike because of the whole connections with China.
Yes.
Is that right? Not because of the Nas thing, because they they did what they were supposed to do, right?
They separated themselves from those Nikes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're going to play this little clip for you. I'm going to mute whenever you're ready.
Notice the way the models are positioned. Do you think this was an accident? Let's take a closer look. The picture was posted upside down for a reason, and I'm going to show you why. Let me draw it out for you. The symbol that they are using is the sigil of Baphomet, which is the official insignia of the Church of Satan. Don't let anyone convince you that this was just art. Anyone that does marketing or knows about that type of industry knows you cannot release any type of imagery like this from a major brand like Converse without getting the green light and approval from so many different departments. This was intentional, strategic, and also a smoke signal. Listen, Satan and his followers aren't even hiding anymore, and they're not even ashamed to say it. So if they're being bold for their God and their message, we need to be bold for ours.
So that you can find that on Instagram. It is, if you go to Instagram and you look up Converse, you will find that. So I did a little digging, right? So I looked into who this was after. It's a guy called Rick Owen. He's originally from LA. He actually is back in LA and looking for property now. I'm going to show you guys a few images of him and his wife. Her name is Michelle. I'm not going to say her name wrong, but I'll show you in a second. Michelle Lammy. That is their name. So I'm going to show you some of their images. There's one. This is her. This is him and her. She has a bag with that's made to look like his face. Because I wanted to know where this was coming from. This is her. This is him. Supposedly their style is goth, right? I'm not sure, but this shit is creepy. Like, I would never get a picture of my husband's head and use it as a bag. I don't know. I think that shit's weird. Is it just me or what? So, yes, I did a little research on them because that's what I do. And I
Goth is one thing. That was something else.
That what?
Goth is one thing. That is something else.
I agree,
even her little,
100%.
yeah, with that picture with the purse, the head purse. Even then, her outfit, she looked like she had dressed her hair or was wearing horns.
Correct. I agree, 100%. I used to be, what do you call it? Like, I used to be into like new wave back in the day when I was in high school and like sort of emo. That shit is a different level. And again, I'm not trying to pass judgment. All I'm saying is the ad itself made me as a buyer not want to buy because I will not support things that I feel in my core seems evil. That's where I'm at with it. They can dress the way they want, they can look the way they want, they can do whatever they want. Obviously, it's making them money. But like I said, I just wanted to show you guys because I looked it up. So I'm no longer supporting the brand. That's just me. And you can go to Instagram and see it.
So, and this is the crazy part about being in America. We have so much freedom, and even if you disagree with it, they have the right and the freedom to go ahead and dress however they want and to live whatever lifestyle that they want. Doesn't mean we have to accept it. Doesn't mean we have to agree with it. And the one way you can, I guess, kind of show that you don't agree with it and that it's just not purchase it, not purchase that brand or fall into it, whatever they're selling. And that's really all you can do because they have the right to go ahead and keep living that lifestyle, whatever it is. I mean, to me, it looks satanic, but I mean, if that's just if they just like to look like that, whatever, that's on those people.
Right.
I just want to be purchasing anything from Converse, and I think when you do stuff like that, just like with the Little Nas and Nike issue,
which sucks because I like their shoes.
Yeah, I mean, but
I do too.
When you get enough pushback, like you'll see somebody come out like I wanted to, like Nike did, like hey they excluded themselves from that, like hey that was on him, we're going to hit it for infringement or trademark copyright or whatever it may be. Still doesn't help Nike out of my mind because I have other issues with them, but at least somewhat makes it better. Converse might get an idea and be like, hey, damn, we messed up. Nobody's buying our shoes anymore. Our feedback was they didn't like, the gothic, satanic looking shoes that we made or modeling that they did. We can't do that no more. And we're going to go this route and see if we can bring people back. Hey, I'm all about redemption too. If they were to come out and say, hey, we're going to head in this direction, and then bring out something that was a little bit more lighthearted and, try to better their appearance, hey, maybe we'll give them a shot. So it's business, and they might think it's a great marketing scheme, and that that's what the people really want. We got to show them that that's not. We disagree with it. And you do that by not paying for it. And I honestly think it was a weird looking shoe.
It looks
This is it.
Yeah.
This is the shoe. This is the Rick Owens collaboration with Converse, and that's kind of how that ad started up, etc. I guess focusing around him and the way, like, their sense of style. So just to give you a little bit, what the hell is this? Get out of there. So I just wanted to show you guys the shoe. I would never purchase that shoe anyway. It's not just me. It's not me. But if you like it, hey, knock your socks off. It's just not me.
Agreed. Agreed.
Anyways, on that note, we covered a lot tonight. We talked about COVID. We talked about the officer down. We talked about the Delta variant. We talked about Fauci's inconsistency. We talked about mask mandates. We talked a little bit about the jab. We talked about Converse. We talked about hypocrisy. We talked about Cuomo and hypocrisy. So we talked about a lot. I hope you enjoyed the content. Please like and share. And if you do share, please make it public so that everybody can, Jonathan's back, so that everybody can see it, so that it reaches a larger audience. We would greatly appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We want to build that. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. On that note, Jonathan, hang around. We're going to talk backstage a little bit. So on that note, we are going to let you guys go. We've already had you guys for an hour and 45 minutes. Have a great night and be kind.